Hello and welcome to another Retro Crazy. This is the Tatung Einstein TC-01 Part 2. Was only supposed to be one part, however there was way too much video for one, so I've split it over two. So we'll continue where we left off now that the capacitor and the fuse have turned up for the power supply.
Well, that's taken about a week, but hopefully the last of the parts that I need are here. So let's finish off this power supply. First thing we're going to do is get one of these fuses. And these are the 1 amp 250 volt glass fuses. Which just drops in there. And I've got this replacement X2 capacitor, and again technology has shrunk, so I will need to extend the legs on this so that they'll fit through, but that's easy enough done. I just simply take the existing capacitor and carefully and gently bend this leg straight over. I choose this leg so that the text will be visible on the front. That will obviously go in there. I have a component leg that I've cut. That will drop in. I'll bend that over and that can be soldered as well, and we're done. So let's get this soldered in. So this is now all connected back up. It's sat back in its frame. Everything looks fine. I have already cleaned up all the cable and the plug, but I did note there's no fuse. So I reckon when the fuse blew and it wouldn't power up, I'm wondering if this one blew as well. I can see on it, it is actually marked 3 amps. So I do have a replacement 3 amp fuse. I'm going to turn it so that the 3 amps is showing in the window. Like so. And this should now be ready for testing. I'm going to guess that's the off position without the red strip visible. So let's power this up, make sure it doesn't explode, which would be handy, and I can test the outputs because I should have 12 volts, 5 volts here, and the minus 12 volts, and that one should be our 0 volt. So let's see what happens. Wish me luck. Well, here goes nothing. I'm putting the main power on first, and I'm going to not touch the casing until I know everything's fine. I'm going to try and not touch the casing, but it doesn't want to switch on. It's quite a tight switch. So I'm keeping myself insulated. I heard something. Nothing appears to have blown. I don't see a light, so it maybe doesn't have one. Okay, let's check some voltages. So if we start with our 0 volt, or what should be our ground, you said hopefully. We should be able to test 12 volts. Okay, we should be able to check 5 volts. And last but not least, we can check -12. So we are getting what should be roughly the right voltages. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to switch off. Let's do final assembly and testing. So with the power supply back in and everything reassembled, it's not actually time for testing. Because of the amount of time it took for the class 2 capacitor and the fuses to turn up, I started editing the video and I spotted something that I missed completely when I was working on this disk drive. So I'm going to have to pop the disk drive back out, open it up, and I'll show you when I get there. Now the drive's back out, I can show you what I spotted, and I spotted it when I'd lifted this. I wasn't looking at this initially, but the felt pad is no longer past the end. It looks like either it's broken off or maybe it's failed. So I need to replace that felt pad. Now it looks like I should just be able to unhook this and fingers crossed lift that pin out and everything to the side. Let's find out. They're held in with circlips. I'm not going to disturb them. They're very small and guaranteed I'll lose at least one. Looks like a pair. One inside, one outside, just stops the shaft from falling out. But yeah, that's certainly not looking good. So all that's left of the felt pad is the sticky backing. So what I have is a small piece of felt pad from one that you stick down on, you know, furniture or whatever. I'm going to try and cut that to size. So that first attempt was not great. Did not work. And the more I tried to cut it, it's just so awkward to cut when it's compressed that what actually happens is it opens up, it becomes feathery, and you end up with nothing. So my second option is to try and cut it using a sharp knife on a hard surface. And that didn't work either. Now I have plenty more felt pad. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Okay, let me go and have a look and see if I can find some information. So I decided to go a different route. I bought a set of punches. I used a 4mm punch with some felt. This is sticky back felt, normally for use on furniture. And after punching some out, I ended up with some very nice felt pads. So hopefully that will stick in there and do the job nicely. Maybe a little tall, so I may have to cut down the height of a fraction. but let's see how this gets on. And with that done, it's kind of down to testing, so fingers crossed. Well, here we are at testing. Kind of nervous about this one. I did check on the Gadget UK Discord channel, and I asked about the minus 11.5 and 11.5 positive voltages, and apparently the system should be okay at that. So let's power on and see if we get any life. Fingers crossed. Well, I heard the drive power up. We've got a power light and an alpha lock button. Alpha lock off. So that's operating. That's a good start. Let's see if we can get a signal on the telly now. And we have a display. We have a working Tatung Einstein. Really chuffed about that. I was told it was working, but after the first power on, it refused to power on again. So yeah, suspected the power supply, and now we have life. The distortion you're seeing through the camera, I'm not seeing at all. It's okay, it's got some jail bars, and that's to be expected. Let's check the keyboard. Well, so far so good, everything seems to be running. So it says insert disk into drive 0 and press control brake to load. Let's find out if this disk works and if the drive now works. And that's just read the drive. No idea what I'm supposed to do from here. So let's pop this one out. Let's try highway encounter. And we'll do so from power on, because I think it should load. So we should be able to do the reset, assuming I can find it. Drive's nice and quiet. And yeah, looks like 1 for keyboard, I think. Yeah. Apologies, my monitor software crashed the camera. Very strange. However, really chuffed with this. Everything seems to be running exactly as it should. Yeah, this is such a nice one to do. It's a huge system. I'm just glad that I can pack it away carefully and safely, ready for when I get my display area done. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember, like and subscribe, really important. Give us a big thumbs up, because that helps drive the algorithm. and I'll see you on the next Retro Crazy.